Hey guys, me again. This time instead of an NA game, we are looking at LSB versus RY. Uh, KT Rolster, RY. As far as I know, they're allowed to be like the best team in the Korean Wilder scene, the WCK, and LSB, as you can tell, they're not the worst, but they're not even so hot. I think they're like almost the worst. Yeah. That being said, so there are a few things I know. One, I know that LSB do win. LSB win. I also know that it goes to 3 games. Anyways, this replay, it's courtesy of this Wilder Free Cake. Thanks to them for putting it up, because I'm not exactly sure where the WCK channel is, so yeah, just shouting them out real quick. Anyways, so there are a few things I'm looking for. One, things to look for. One, we're looking to see, is KY or RY, my bad. Is RY like the best team? Like, do they look much better than like teams in A, even when they're losing? Two, why does RY lose? Like, is this a game where they just got out game planned? Do they lose like micro stuff like that? So yeah, we'll move into game one. We'll start with the draft. As usual, casters are muted. So starting out here, we see we got Camille, Senna, Varus, Set, Master Yi, Ziggs. So these two are pretty standard. You see these pretty often in NA. That being said, the Varus isn't like an insta-ban in NA. Maybe Korea prefers those like AD champions that like can carry. We saw a very good performance from Varus in the finals of the NA Major 3, so that's it. Set, really just, I'm a fan of the Set ban. I think that he's still really good, especially in the support role. I really liked how he was played in NA, so I like this ban. Master Yi, not sure why he's banned. This might have to do with like, I know that I've seen like rumors of him doing like way too much damage. I don't know. And then Ziggs. Ziggs is a popular mid lane pick. He's also just generally pretty good. Yeah, I probably think you ban the Karma here. Like, one of these two feels like you maybe want to ban the Karma if you're Rolster, unless you're like specifically worried about like one of these two. Like, I don't see why like a Karma isn't banned here, unless you're not worried about it, obviously. So we're gonna see the Karma lock in. And then what are we gonna see? We see a Corki. And what else? So they hover the Corki, but they choose the Gragas instead. It'll be interesting to see if they do lock in Corki. Okay, so Corki Gragas. I think this is a very versatile set here, because Corki, he could play both mid and the bot lane. You could have the Gragas both top and support. So I think that this is a really good draft by Rolster, or RY. Sorry, I'm used to KT Rolster. But I like this draft by RY. You got a lot of flexibility in how you play it, depending on what your opponent does, which is the advantage of red side. You really have the advantage to counter pick. Yeah, so I think that's something that you're looking for. I have a sneaking suspicion it's probably gonna be Corki bot lane. That feels like what they're going for with the Ziggs ban. Plus, with like the general lack of ADCs, you really only got like Ashe, Vayne on the side of LSB. So yeah, We're gonna go Garen. Hmm. Okay. Uh, Good tank. You're lacking when you pick the Karma. You lack a tank. So I think the Garen sort of fills that role. He's a good tank. He has a good amount of damage. He can carry. And the Jace. I like the Jace pick. I think the Jace is really good. I'm a Jace truther. Yeah. So Jace looking like he's probably gonna end up going mid lane. Yeah. So what you're looking at here then is if you think you have a counter pick that's good into Jace in the mid lane, I don't know how good Riven is into Jace. They're gonna pick the top lane. Okay, so this Darius is going top lane. So the Gragas is probably gonna be the support. Darius will go top lane. It'll be like Gragas Corki, or Corki could go mid, but Jace does outrange Corki by a good bit if he's in the non-hammer form. So maybe you don't wanna try to take that matchup. Banning the Ashe, I like that. Like I said, LSB is kind of lacking in ADC picks, right? So if you ban like the Ashe and like the Vayne, they don't have a good I'd say ADC pick. Especially with Karma, right? Like you don't even want to play Vayne, so like you could ban like an Ashe and like what else? That is tricky. Like maybe you ban out a mid laner. They're gonna ban out Kha'Zix. That looks like a pretty good jungle ban there. If you're gonna ban out jungle, I'd like to see Kha'Zix and Rengar. Actually, what roles don't they have? They don't have technically a mid laner because I feel like it's gonna be Gragas Corki bot. And like that being said, you could flex Corki mid and pick an ADC. But I don't think they're gonna do that if they ban Ashe. I don't think there's very good bans for LSB, unfortunately, here, right? Cause sorry, I'm moving my chair. Cause if you ban the right, cause there are three junglers on the table. There's like Kha'Zix, Rengar, and Lee Sin is what I'd say. And like even then, there's like a bunch of other like little bit worse junglers that are like still playable. So like, I don't think that the jungle ban is good because it means that like even though I think LSB has put themselves in a bit of a weird position here. They're gonna ban the Olaf on the side of Rolster. That's interesting. It looks like they want to force like the Lee Sin or the Lee Sin Rengar. Gonna ban the Jax. I feel like you probably should have banned an ADC. Or like someone who can play that ADC role. Sorry. I feel like banning the ADC on the side of Rolster is the better pick there. Like, unless you're really worried about the Olaf. But I don't really know. We'll see. Like I said, I don't have too much insight on the Korean Wilder scene. So like maybe like LSB is just kind of nutty on the Olaf. But we'll see. Yeah, so we're gonna see the Rengar. Yeah, so that means that they want to try to force them into this early game jungler matchup, I feel like. So maybe pick like a Graves if you're LSB. I don't know, like maybe Graves is the pick here because he's a farming jungler. You don't have to like play this early game. But then again, you don't want to let Rolster scale because Corki will start bursting down tanks. I think Lee Sin is probably the best pick here. Unless I'm missing something. Might just be my NA brain rot. Ezreal for the ADC. That's Yeah, I probably would have rather seen the Ezreal banned than the Olaf. Like if you're that worried about the Olaf, you do get the first pick on the red side in the second portion of the draft. So like just pick the Olaf and like let them have the Rengar, and then Jin Zhao. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of Jin Zhao. I think Lee Sin is a bit better, but I think into this comp you just want more damage, and like Jin Zhao scales just a bit better than Lee Sin. He has like a weak, like I think that, yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. First of all, on either side, it looks like we're not getting a traditional mid laner, right? Like, it looks like it's gonna be, so Gragas looks like he's going in the mid lane versus the Jace, which I think is a good pivot from the roster, right? Like, I think that picking the Alistar less, allowing the Gragas to go mid, and like putting Gragas versus Jace, I think that's a good choice. Because if you try to take like a Corki Jace matchup and you take like an ADC, I think that Corki loses to Jace in lane because Jace has so much burst damage, especially early levels, like before Corki can get his package online. Ezreal versus Corki. Ezreal has like a lot of mobility. I like Ezreal. I think that he's very good. I think he's probably like the third best ADC. I don't know. I'm not big on Ashe. I get to like she provides a lot of utility, which maybe pro teams value that more than like the damage. But I think Ezreal has like he has very good maneuverability. He has very good he has good utility with his ult. He doesn't have a lot of CC though, so yeah, there's that kind of trade off there. As for the jungle picks, I like Rengar more than Jin Zhao. I think that he scales better. I think that he's just better overall. Top laners like Darius, Garen, it's basically the same. Like there is no difference. As for the support though, I think that the tank on Alistar gives the team a lot better engagements. I don't think that Karma can engage the same way that Alistar can. So I'm gonna say that I think I like Rolster in the draft here. RY winning draft. The reason for that, I value Alistar engage over Karma utility, or yeah, we'll say Karma utility / CC. I think that the Alistar ability to engage is much better than Karma's. Other than that, I think the pivot of mid lane Gragas, pivot into the LSB Jace, gives them an advantage. Gives advantage. Yeah. I'd say that Ezreal versus Corki is pretty even. I like how they both play. I think I don't know. I really like. The more I'm thinking about it, I really kind of like how Corki slots into this team. He does a lot of AP. He does mixed damage, like AP 80. He also can get the package to be able to dive in. Right, this team has a lot of ability to engage and sort of force their will into LSB. Let's just see Corki slots to the RY team well. And then what else? Rengar. I just prefer Rengar over Jin Zhao. I think that I'm not a Jin Zhao truther. I think I would have rather, even though I said I like the Jin Zhao pick, I would have much rather have seen the Lee Sin or who else? Maybe a Riven. Somebody who's a bit of a bruiser, who could who does damage, but can really shut down the Corki. Because once you shut down the Corki, I think a lot of the damage has to come from specifically the Gragas and the Darius. and like you can build around that a lot easier. I don't know. Plus, I think Riven's pretty good as a tank buster. So yeah. So we'll skip. We've got about 30 seconds before we get into the game. Okay, so what are we seeing here? So immediately you see this sort of interesting setup in mid, where all 4 members, the top lane, the mid lane, and the bot lane, all kind of converge to leech XP from the top lane. I like this. I think that you're basically saying that we don't care about our mid lane, and we want to get our carry to the like break point as fast as possible, and I like that. Let's just see. We'll just put early game. Early game. Smile. I like the 4 mid. The 4 mid is good. 4 mid is good. Extra XP to play through the carry. Also, this tilts the Darius versus the Garen matchup in Darius' favor just a little bit, and like, even though I highly doubt anything will happen, just giving the Darius any advantage you can. Like, it's a pretty even matchup, so slight advantages are really good. Yeah. You could also immediately see that the Gragas starts rotating top lane. Yeah. So it looks like they're gonna like your Gragas is gonna come leech some XP. I think that's good. Just get your Gragas back on par with Jace. You can see he's already level 2. Gragas is almost level 2. Good zoning by Alistar, basically like giving them some room under the turret that's like just outside of it to play. Like if you're stuck under turret, Ezreal will just take pot shots at you all day long with his first ability, and you're just gonna kind of lose. Yeah, there's not a lot happening here. Good by RY to just kind of stay and keep getting those last hits. Good CSing. Yeah. Other than that, like it looks like there's really no difference in the mid lane. In the jungle as well, both of them. Oh, that's it. So in the jungle, right? You can see that Rengar is taking advantage of the faster clear speed to. Right, Jin Zhao is just now killing it about 5 seconds after Rengar has. And even then, Jin Zhao has less XP than Rengar because Rengar got all 3 of the camps. Jin Zhao only got 2. So it'll be interesting to see if Krugs gets taken by the blue team by like the duo lane. But yeah, I don't like that. This is a big reason. This is a reason I don't like Jin Zhao. The clear speed is too slow, right? You can see by the time he's getting back here, right, he chooses to back off. And this time, like, he's scouting right now. He's scouting for information. The opposing team also knows that he's here, which gives Rengar immediate time to go and get the blue buff from him. You know, he steals blue buff. This is also due to some good warding, right? You see a good ward right there. Meanwhile, on the LSB side, there's no information through this entire pit. Instead, the ward is placed defensively right here. This is a good way to get an early advantage in gold lead, and I like it. Yeah, so it looks like Xin Zhao just went and cleared the rocks, while Rengar is also clearing the blub guy. I don't know, the fat frog. You know, the fat frog here. And Kiri comes here, and he has now just wasted like 5 seconds. See, this is the problem now. You're in this weird scenario where your camps haven't respawned. You usually want to hit level 5, I'm pretty sure, on Xin Zhao before going for a gank. And the enemy jungler will be way far ahead because he will get here and he will clear all these camps before you. Oh, gets the wolves. And it looks like Kiri's going for a gank in mid or like some aggro sort of information. Yeah. Good flash by Zero to get out of there. Really, really bad ult. Like, just god awful ult. Like, what are you ulting here? Maybe it's a fat finger from the flash. I don't know. It seems like, why would you even use your ult there? But yeah, you can see just continuing to play. So looking at the top lane matchup, Darius is about 200 gold ahead. Rengar's got a good 300 gold lead on the Xin Zhao. And you can see how that's converted, right, to where the Rengar has both the Falgate and the Kindlegarm, while the Xin Zhao only has the singular health, the red crystal. In the mid lane, you see the Jace is leading by about 100. Bot lane, Ezreal is leading by about 100, and then supports are about even. So now we're hitting our first objective timers. And so this is where I really want to pay attention, because I know that like these first objectives will probably make or break what is a very slight gold lead for RY. And Zero is going to get caught out again. Yeah, so he sees them, tries to go away, but he's dead. Yeah, so Zero caught out twice. The first time he was able to get away because of the flash. Bad ult as well. Gives first blood. Yeah. So yeah, I suppose I should probably talk about what I think the goals and the objectives are. Yeah, so let's take a quick second to talk about like the goals and objectives of the team, right? I'll just keep playing this while it is. But yeah, that's just a really bad position by Zero. I think the goal with the roster comp here, or the KT, the RY comp, is to they're trying to dive. You know, they've got a lot of ability to displace people with the Gragas ult and the Alistar to stun them up. The Darius has the ability to dive, do a lot of damage once he gets in. Same with the Corki and the Rengar, right? So they're probably going to try to focus down like the Karma or the Ezreal or the Jace and just burst them down while ignoring the Garen. As for the LSB comp, I think it's a bit different. I think they're trying to poke with the Ezreal and the Jace, and then once they get to like about half HP, they're going to just all in with like the Karma ult and then the J and like the Xin Zhao and the Garen, right? Trying to get like an easy execute, leading to like a 4v5, which they can then snowball using Ezreal. So you'll see something that the team does is, right, they immediately, and this is back before Zero got caught out here, or this is after Zero gets caught out, right? they make this switch where they go, instead of having Zero come back to mid, they have these two go to the mid lane. I'm a big fan of this. I think I talked about it in the video yesterday, but this allows you to exert a lot more pressure over the map, like, right? And so, like, this way you can exert pressure up towards both the bottom and the top of the map very easily, right? You have the mid lane is the closest to both the Rift Herald and the Dragon, so this way they can rotate up or down just depending on what happens. It looks like Corki grabbed his package here while we were watching the replay. And it looks like they, KRY, are starting the Rift Herald. The information gathering by Ezreal there, right? You kind of see that they started the Rift Herald, and they just get it for free, basically. This was off of what I would consider to be, like, this is off of basically the fact that they have pressure in mid, right? If you watch the mid lane, like, the Jace can't really see, and the Darius kind of comes down here to block off this entrance into the Baron, or the Baron pit, yeah, where the Rift Herald is. And then, like, you know, once they've gotten to this point, it's basically halfway down, and no one has any entries, and no one is anywhere close. You see, like, even the bot lane duo was heading bot lane again. So yeah, they're just giving this whole objective away from free. I would have liked to have seen them start the Dragon take. This is also due to a lack of vision, isn't it? Right? Yeah, I mean, I feel like LSB isn't taking very good vision, right? Like, I was saying earlier that I think the Rengar got ahead because of, like, the vision. He had a positive visual on where Xinjiao was, and he was like, oh, I can go take the blue buff. He's like, I know he started red. So yeah, I'm gonna note that down. LSB bad vision. This is something that I'd focus on if I were, like, an analyst or coach for LSB. I think that the reason that they are, like, sort of behind in the objective game is because, right, like, if they don't get that bad first kill, like, because Zero's out of position, I think they are very much behind. Zero, he just walks into lane and ults. Like, why are you ulting here? Your team isn't going to engage. They don't engage. They just kind of look at you. Like, bad ult again by Zero. I'm not impressed with Zero's play. You know, I was basically raving about Suki and how much impact I felt like his ult had on Gragas. And, like, this is what happens when you have, like, a Gragas just not on point. And I think that is problematic. Then what? So yeah, now it looks like we're going to the Dragon Pit. LSB at least has taken advantage of this. They're clearing out the wards for the side of Royal. There we go, or RY. Sorry, I keep calling them literally everything they aren't. This is an interesting usage by Luna here. I'm not exactly sure why that ability was used there, but I don't think there was any need to use that right there. Like, wouldn't you rather save that for a dive? Unless it's an expiring, which, like, it might be. It's like an okay zoning tool, I guess. They kind of have to walk through the slow to get to you. So they start the Dragon. So RY, if you're RY here, you want to get, like, a counter objective somewhere on the map, like a tower, and you want to get some kills. If you can get the Dragon, that's a nice bonus. Because if you look at the gold, it's basically even, right? So what we see, first of all, Rengar just kind of ignores them, right? Rengar's like, they aren't starting Dragon, I don't have to care. She kind of jumps over the wall, runs down bot, sees it, right? Sees they aren't starting Dragon. So the Rengar is like, we have time. So the Rengar then proceeds to go bot. It looks like help clear out the wave a little bit. And then they drop the Rift Herald, and then, right, they're immediately moving back up. This means So then what do we see? Right at the same time as Rengar starts coming back up, we see Salem hit a big. They dash. It looks like they use their dash. Yeah, they used the dash. They proto belt. They use the third ability to get the stun, and then they use the knock up. Kiri ults. And see, if you're 0, this is where you wish you had your ult. You wish you had your ult right here to like stop them or knock some of them out. Basically make sure they miss position. But because you used a bad ult earlier, I think that like you lack that ability. So we see Glow also diving in onto 0, Illusion going in onto Luna, and then Rabbit. Who's Rabbit? Yeah, so Luna's basically forced out of the fight now, which I think was good play by Illusion. Immediately target what you perceive to be the carry. Salem is diving in, but he doesn't really have his team to support him, right? Like if you look at where Salem is, there's one member here, one member here, one member here. These 3 are basically out of the fight for where the fight is happening right here. It's basically a 2v like 3-4, depending on how you're counting, right? I'd say it's a 2v4 because Eugen is like within shooting range. So yeah, who's knocked up here? I can't tell. So we've got Glow, we got the Garen, we got so it's Kiri that's knocked up, and then we'll see Kiri use the ult to sort of displace everyone, right? So if you look at this, look at how far the royal members are from each other. You've got one here, right? Where there's basically 2 players in between them, right? Kiri and then Glow. You've got Luna out here who's got basically 3 members in front of where he wants to be, right? He wants to be like here. And so he's being zoned off. And then you've got Doe and 0 out back for some reason. So they get a lot of damage onto the Alistar. Salem, Garen uses his execute, gets the kill. So now you've got Kiri. Kiri's really the only one that's low. But if you look at this, everyone on RY is half or less because they haven't taken like a full team fight yet. Doe gets killed by the Jace, it looks like. What? Oh, it looks like the smite on the Jace kills Doe. And then Eugen is going to come in here and try to hit some like chip damage, maybe get a kill. And then at this point, you should finish off the Baron. Yeah, so it looks like they're going to get the dragon. I don't know why I said Baron. Yeah, so they're going to get the dragon, call it a day. And RY didn't even get a turret for the troubles. So that was a really bad fight from RY. Why was it a bad fight? They weren't fighting as a team. It felt like they were fighting as a collection of individuals. And what I mean by that, I hope it's pretty obvious, but alright, it means that they were fighting, like they would go in one at a time, and they'd just kind of like, they'd go in, and then one of them would get bursted out, they'd go out, somebody else would come in, you know. And it also, like, the other thing is that, like, their carry, who is the Corki, like, Salem went in, and, like, basically no one else was near him. So that's the other thing. Yeah, so Kiri's going to get the kill onto the Ocean Dragon. Does that Karma ult do anything? I didn't really notice it the first time. Yeah, it didn't do anything, so it basically just brought Ratel in, but that was about it. Yeah, so it looks like the smite from the Jace kills the jungler there. So now we're looking at LSB. Probably they're ahead about a K. So now I want to see if they can convert this, what is basically a pretty big gold lead at this point, into some objectives, right? If we look at the top lane, let's look at the gold differences again. Look at the top lane, it's not that much. It's only about 100. But that is the extra, like the Thorn Mail for Garen. Meanwhile, they've got the black cleaver and the boots for the Darius, so they're relatively even. The Jin Zhao is still behind. This should explain why I don't like Jin Zhao right here. You're up 3 kills, you've got 3 assists, you've taken the dragon, and you're 3 kills behind. Or you're still like 800 behind. Obviously, yeah, because like the goals from the dragon and the Rift Herald, at least if I remember correctly, are relatively even, based on specifically the objectives, not like what they get you. So like you should be even, but like Doe is still so far ahead. The Jace looks to be about 5,500 to 4,300, so about 1,200 ahead of the Gragas. Right, and as we can see, that's coming in that like Jace has the Caulfield Hammer, Gragas just has the Lunes, and then the Ezreal is about 500 ahead of the Corki. The supports are about even. So what I want to see is the Jace taking advantage of his gold lead and the Ezreal. So it looks like they're doing a lane swap here for LSB. Glow goes into the bot lane, and then Rabbit and Eugen go top. And it looks like they're going to try to dive onto this Darius. Well, I mean, did they see the Jin Zhao? He should have been. Oh, they saw the Jace. That's why. Okay. Yeah. So good warding by Rotel. Sees the Jace, and like just they're immediately reading, right? You see the Alistar, right? The Alistar is immediately coming up. So is the Gragas. And it looks like they're going to try to force mid tower in return. They see Illusion backing off, so they kind of know it's safe at this point. But yeah, it looks like they're going to try to force this mid tower and see what they can get. They get, what, 2 plates? And it looks like they get the turret, maybe? They get 2 plates. So that's 2 plates for free, but like that's really good. And LSB just like, they got nothing. I mean, LSB give away plates. Like, what are you doing there, right? Like, it's just some good warding by a Rolster that immediately sees, oh, no plates. Oh, they didn't give them away for free. They did kind of get the Ezreal, so I'm gonna delete that. I think that's wrong. Yeah, so like the Ezreal does manage to come up with a counterplay. Good engage onto the mid lane. You see the Alistar immediately uses his thing. He dashes, I'm pretty sure. I can't tell which dash that is. So he uses the rocket belt, and then he uses the second ability, the dash one that would knock you back. But he combos that with the first ability to knock up and hits the stun. But Jace hits a good knockback to get out of there. And Zero's just kind of farming in the bot lane. If Zero gets ganked again, I swear to God. Oh, looks like Zero is not getting ganked, thank God. I don't know, Zero has been less than impressive this game, to say the least. So LSB is kind of clearing out, basically trying to force this tower take. And it looks like they should get it. This seems like a weird pan to see Luna taking a tower shot. But I think what's going on here is it looks like Luna is trying to feel out whether 282 is enough to just like, it's got like 400 HP on the tower, and I feel like they're trying to feel whether or not you can like just kind of tank it down. And it looks like they decided against that, but they do lose that bot tower. So now they're like basically 2 towers down, and they're like 3k gold down. Yeah, so this is not a good spot for Rolster or RY. Did Garen just face check that bush? I'm sorry, what? Why are you face checking this bush? You know that the Alistar has been camping in these 2 bushes. You have no vision, you have nothing. You know, like you know Ratel is there. And this is a great combo, by the way. He hits the knock up, he walks past him, he knocks Garen into the wall. Darius immediately grabs the Garen. Immediately Luna starts focusing Glow. They don't get a lot of, like, they don't get anything out of it, but like it's just a good amount of damage. And like especially before this Herald fight, a lot of chip damage will be really good, especially on the only tank that LSB have. That being said, are we going to contest the Rift Herald? Yes, we are. So what do we see? We see Salem use the Rocket Belt in, hit the dash, hit the knock up, hit the stun. Basically forcing Rabbit out of the fight to flash out. And then what happens? We're gonna go slow. How long have I been recording? 41 minutes, and we only got 8 minutes left. Not bad. I'm trying to speed up the pace that I do this. I feel like I take too long and I like overanalyze. I'm sorry. Hit the nice stun onto Rabbit. Rabbit flashes over and boom. There is another wasted ult. No value ult. Rabbit dodged with flash. Flash. Yeah, so Xin Zhao is going to get the Rift Herald here. Yeah, that's just a this is really good by Xin Zhao. I will give them that much. I have been talking mad shit on the Xin Zhao, but I think that the micro play has been relatively good. The macro play is what I really think is the problem, like the lack of vision. But like this micro play right here is really good, right? He sees that there are like RY members coming in to contest, immediately starts hitting it with an empowered strike and smites. None of this like, oh, I'll keep it alive, like try to bait them into doing something. No, he's like, I'm getting this objective and I'm not going to let you have it, RY. Yeah, so Zero's wasted ult. And then what? We see Doe and it's Kiri and Glow on Doe. So Doe tries to get onto Kiri and Glow counter engages. Yeah. So then what are we seeing? We're seeing, where is the carry? Where is Luna? Okay, so Luna and Ratel come into this fight a little late. Jace hits the knock up. Luna starts just chunking damage. Like, just look at this damage. And then everybody just kind of backs off. Oh, no. Really good shield by the Darius. Right? So if you watch it, Luna's kind of exiting. Luna still got flash, so can afford to play a little bit aggressive. And then, but like, if you watch this Darius shield, the Garen kind of flashes, boom, immediately the shield goes up when he sees the execute. Salem also hits a nice knockback to get the Garen out of the fight. Luna kind of splits the entire team off here with the nice Corki, this ability, I don't know what it's called. But it puts Kiri in a really weird spot, right? Because you can see that the entire team here has basically been zoned off this line, and Kiri's in front of the line. Everyone else is behind it. This basically, I think this is a really good move. It kind of forces the LSB team to retreat because now they have two members low in Glow and Kiri instead of just what would have been Glow low, and they have the ability to engage. I don't know why Luna is still playing here. That feels like you're about to get exited on. And Luna gets way too greedy. Yeah. Luna greedy. Luna gets greedy. I don't know. I feel like this has happened more than once, but like I haven't been paying too much attention to it. So I'm gonna be watching this in the next few games. But Luna got really greedy there. Like, you know, the Jace has a long range, like high punish ability. Like, why are you taking chip damage? Right? Their comp is a very pokey comp. You've got the ability to like poke with Ezreal and Jace, and then engage whenever you want with these three: Glow, Kiri, and Rabbit. And then it looks like they're gonna try to push out the mid lane turret with the Rift Herald. And we go back to normal speed, assuming that there are no team fights. So yeah. I'd say a pretty okay team fight. I definitely think that the same problem happened again, where like Luna wasn't exactly there and they kind of fought as individuals for a little bit. Like, the strength of this team comp that I have immediately seen in my eyes is the ability to dive. And you want to dive onto a single target, you know? Use the Corki flyover to just and like split somebody off, right? Split the team in half. Dive on whichever member is kind of split off. And I feel like they haven't done that. Good vision by Alistair. You can see they're trying to clear out the jungle wards. And like immediately they're like, we're gonna take the dragon, we're not gonna let you guys have this. Yeah, so they're just kind of leashing it a bit, getting it near the edge of the pit instead of right in the pit where like a blast orb hit can knock in. So here we've got Salem going in onto the Jinzhou. Why are you... Okay. So we're gonna go with the speed slow. We're reaching that time of the game where it's team fighting time, which means we gotta go slow down. Only 47 minutes, and I'm almost 3/4 of the way through. There's only 6 minutes left. Damn, I'm really speeding through this one, aren't I? So we see Salem 0 Retel immediately go in. The Jinzhou gets knocked up. The Garen kind of follows up to protect him. Do keeps focusing the Kiri. They all get knocked back. I'm not exactly a fan of where Salem is, like, because it again feels like the individual coordination here feels like these two are playing as a unit and these two are playing as a unit. They're not getting punished this time because everyone from LSB is basically like right here on this like this weird line, right? Like, because they're more focused on trying to force them out of the dragon pit than like kill them. So yeah. I suppose it's good at baiting the exhaust though. You don't want to have that happen mid-fight. So yeah. Corki just doesn't... no damage there, unfortunately. And the Drake has started to respawn, which is unfortunately just means that like they're gonna have to restart the fight, right? And this time they are, I'd say, much lower. You've got Rabbit at full, Illusion at full, basically, Illusion at full, Glow and Kiri at half. Doe's at half, Salem's at half, Zero's basically full, and Ratel's like 3/4. Luna's also basically 3/4. So I'd say that the health advantage is, even though like they don't have as many tanks, I'd say it's firmly in favor of LSB. So I think that this is not a fight you want to take. You want to try to stall it out for as long as possible, get some chip damage in. Even though your comp is about diving, you want to try to take advantage of the fact that Rengar can kind of like bounce in and bounce out, especially with how the brush is shaped around this the dragon pit, right? Rengar has the ability to kind of come here, attack glow and then run back out. And so I think that's what you're trying to take advantage of here. Zero gets chunked by what looks like, I'm pretty sure that's the Jace. Yeah, Zero gets chunked by the Jace and the Ezreal. So this is what I was talking about in the early game, though, right? When I say like these Ezreal Jace has insane poke, and then they can just kind of like take advantage of that. Hopefully, Garen gets an execute. So yeah, like I said, Doe should be engaging here. You want to try to chunk the Garen down as much as possible. You go in, you hit an ability, you hit an auto, and then you kind of bounce out, right? You take advantage of the fact that there's this like weird brush cover where you have the ability to move. Rabbit wastes the ult basically. That's like the third skill shot Luna's missed, and like this, it just feels like Luna's missing a lot. This might just be like I'm just like, you know, like the cognitive bias or whatever, but it feels like Luna's missing. I'm gonna say it. I don't know the outcome of this game. But this one feels like one that Royal should lose, or RY should lose. Okay, we're gonna speed this back up to at least a normal speed. So yeah, just doing the. Now they're gonna start the dragon. They will just get the dragon for free. And this is the advantage of a poke comp versus a dive comp, especially in Wild Rift. If you can poke your enemy down and force them to recall early, you can take map objectives for what is basically free. This is the reason I'm a really big fan of people like Jace that have like a very long range. Like Senna. Senna's really good at poking. She has very long range. I don't know if Ashe would be considered poke, but I don't think like she does enough damage to. That might just be me though. But yeah, this is why I'm a Jace truther. I think that Jace has been a key, like, crucial part of this. Right? Even though Jace isn't that... Even though Jace, I don't think has that many kills, I feel like he's been really enabling the ability to play for LSB, right? Making sure that it's harder to dive them. Not to mention, I feel like Zero, who I would consider to be one of the people the most important in shutting down like the AD carry, right? If you're playing the top lane with that sort of like space disruption role, you know, that's like the role that the top lane fills is space disruption, right? They're there to like sort of get in and try to like move the space around. And like I think Gragas is one of those people, Darius is one of those people where like the force of the Camille, you know, where the force of your ability is to basically force your enemy to move somewhere. And like even though Gragas is in the mid lane, that's still the point, you know. You want to use your ult to like force someone to move somewhere. And I feel like he hasn't gotten any value there. You can see they sort of see where the Gragas is, they kinda go a little aggro. Luna's doing a good job here, just kind of clearing wave, making sure that, you know, you want a turtle at this point, right? Wait, what the fuck? Okay. So they all got down bot. And they're just Rattel, Doe, and the Salem are just off in Wonderland, I guess. Like, I don't know what the point of being down there is. I don't know what that gets you. But like I guess you're trying to like split push. Okay, so you're immediately coming in and diving, but like the problem is you're so telegraphed. They see you from a mile away. This isn't like the brush, right? Like Salem dashes in, he has to dash, flash, and he has to use rocket belt, dash, and flash to get in. And who's he even getting on? He gets onto Illusion, and what is that? Illusion and Kiri, and that's it. And he's like, now he's in the middle of fucking nowhere. Look at this. He went from in the middle of Narnia down here to in the middle of Narnia up here. Nothing changed. I don't know if this is usually how Rolster plays. I might just have caught them on a bad day, you know. Maybe they're just having a bad day. They aren't feeling it. But this is not what I like to see. This where's your Doe, what are you doing here? Like, you have access to the backline. Are you guys going in or are you not? Why are you rocket belt dashing and flashing if you're not going to go in? What's the point? No, don't want to. No narcs. Don't want to. Fucking talk to myself. Whatever. You find it. You find roots onto glow. Oh my god! Look at this! Look at this massive fucking damage. So glow is here. I'm pretty sure that's the Xin Zhao ult that does that damage. I was like, that feels like a lot for the Darius. Yeah, we're gonna pause this. Sorry it keeps doing this shit. This is what happens when I pause too much. Okay, we're gonna go back 5 seconds. Yeah. So that looks like the Xin Zhao ult that's doing all that damage. Yeah, because glow's up here. Yeah, so... Wait. LSB, where's your team going? Okay, the Ezreal's just trying to fire from a safe location. And this is, oh thank god. Look at this. They don't fucking engage anymore. They're just back to poking. I love this. I love the fact that they were, if you look at where they were all, right, look at where your front line is here, right? Rabbit and, like, look at where the front line is. Wait, was that a Gragas ult? Is that the first valuable Gragas ult? 1301. 1301. 1301. 1301. Gragas gets value. I'm making a big deal out of this because I don't think there's been a single Gragas ult. And this is an offensive value that I think it's getting. I think it's getting really good defensive value, right? Because if you look at the positioning, right? Sorry, I'm talking like a fucking juicer. But so you see the Gragas. He throws his ult over here to make sure that none of these guys can aggress in this direction at all. Right? Now they're all over here. They're way out. They're way far out of the line of play, right? Illusion and Yujin, the two major damage dealers, aren't going to be able to deal damage. You know what I like though? Kiri and Glow immediately back off. They immediately pull back, you know? And then we see kind of that we've reset to neutral. Oh, dope. Just kind of playing around just kind of playing out there, clearing the wave. Good job not getting too aggro, I think, because that is definitely a death trap. At this point, if you're LSB, I think you kind of want to try to force maybe a Baron play, but you want to force them into a fight around Baron. Like you're 5k gold, 4k gold ahead basically. And so I think you're either gonna wait until Cloud Drake spawns, or you're gonna try to like take some objectives, get some pressure on the map, maybe take a turret or two and wait for Cloud Drake, or you want to try to force them to play around Baron, right? You want to sit there and pretend like you're going to be on Baron, and then try to force a 5v5, because like RY has been playing the 5v5 barely at all, and I think they're probably gonna go for the Baron, or they're gonna try to force a Baron play. Or not, it looks like they're just kind of playing around. Oh, are we seeing it? Are we seeing a Baron? Yeah, it looks like they're just going to play through this top lane tower. Yeah, so it looks like they're just going to try to take this top lane tower, wait for Cloud Dragon to spawn, play for the major objective. And Doe is off in no man's land, kind of doing his own thing, split pushing. He is doing a lot of damage though. This is a good trade if he does get it. And he will not, it looks like. Good trade nonetheless, I think. Like at least you're forcing something. You're stopping them from like keeping and pushing in your turrets. You're making them play elsewhere on the map where you like. But it's just like, look at all this aggressive warding, right? I haven't talked about vision in a minute. Like, all of this aggressive warding. This is inside the red buff, by the way. It's not outside. But yeah, there's a lot of aggressive warding. They have a lot of vision inside the jungle. There's a lot of vision down mid. You know where people are going to be playing. I really like that. Really, really like that. And so now I think we're really going to see LSB's comp come online. They've kind of hit that point in the game where like Jace and Ezreal are now poking monsters. So it looks like if you're LSB here, you're just kind of trying to force a fight. Don't use any major cooldowns. Just kind of sit there, force a fight. And if they don't fight, you know, just take Dragon. And boom, nice smite. Even though I've talked mad shit on the Jin Zhao, I'm liking the micro plays. I think that Kiri is a very good micro jungler, and I like how that play is. Jace goes for the hammer knockup onto Doe, who looks like he had dived in. Yeah, you see Doe back here. Doe gets the what's it called? The brush boost from Rengar. Dives in, hits the stasis. Basically, Jace. Oh my, great heads up play from Jace. Like if you look at this, right, Jace is going to go get the honey fruit over here to then get back into the fight, dealing a lot of damage. Now here's the question: why are these two over here? Ah, I see. Salem. I've been really impressed with Salem play. I think it's pretty good. I really like how he's played the Alistar, knowing when to like use his pushbacks and then when to like push back and knock up, right? So the difference to me between like a really good Alistar and like a really middling Alistar is how they use the first and second ability in combination, right? The ability to like just say basically like push an opponent out of the fight like he does here with the Ezreal is I think really good and really underutilized, especially on NA who like barely plays Alistar to begin with. I think that's really good. The goal was to get the VOD review done by 4 and take less than an hour and a half. It's 2:30 where I am. We'll see. Good old by Glow. Kiri kind of comes in. Chase hits massive damage, and then you can see the Glow gets the execute on Doe. Why is Luna so chunked? So here's Luna. I'm trying to focus on Luna. What happens with Luna? Why does it get so chunked? The Jace just kind of jumps in, hits the hammer shot, or hits the hammer's done. It looks like they get hit by, I think that's, I can't tell what they get hit by here. Maybe like residual damage from the, I can't tell, I think that maybe it's Eugen. I think it's maybe Eugen shot or Karma shot. I can't tell what hits them. But yeah, it looks like Kiri's dead. So 1 for 1. But if you go 1 for 1 and the Darius gets an execute and the Garen gets an execute, you're going to favor the Darius because the execute gives them a reset on the execute. So right now you want to shut down this Darius as fast as possible. Good shutdown on the Darius, right? If he gets that kill on the Glow, he just kind of starts popping off. Zero, why are you here? Right, you go and you flash into what is 3. You're now taking a 3v1, right? Because these two are too far out of the fight. Luna's not in damage range, and even then, Luna's basically dead. So, like, I don't know what Zero is doing here. I have been less than impressed with Zero's play, to say the least. Jace hits a good flash in, a good damaging shot, and it looks like Salem should be dead here. Yep, Ezreal just finishes it off with his poke damage. I don't know why it keeps doing this. I hate when YouTube auto enlarges. Can Jace get the kill onto the Luna? Nope. Luna takes good routing, make sure she doesn't die, or he doesn't die. This should be at least an inhibitor, if not the game. I'm sorry. This is why Jace is good right here. Look at Luna's health. Boom, boom. Avoids the Ezreal ultimate, but yeah, this should just be the game here. Yeah, so that's the game. So takeaways from game one. Let's talk about them. One. Gragas. Parentheses. What was the name? So we'll look at the stats in a second. But Gragas, it was 0. That's the name. 0. Very underwhelming. I don't think there was much value there given. I think that the value that they did get was like middling at best. I'm not a fan of this. Put 0 on like I think that it's maybe just that they don't play like these more non-traditional mid laners. Like Gragas is a mid laner pick that I would expect from C9, not from like, like it's something more janky that I would expect. I also wasn't a huge fan of Luna on the Corki. I feel like there wasn't much value gained there. I liked the Darius, the Rengar, and the Alistar though. On the LSB side, slash Corki. What's the name? Luna, yeah. Gragas had bad ults, and then I wasn't a huge fan of Luna's positioning. Bad positioning. There we go. 2. LSB. What do I think about LSB? Put Kiri on a carry champion. The micro that I saw from Kiri and like the game sense, I thought was really good. I liked how Kiri looked. I thought they looked very good. The ability to poke. The ability to poke from LSB was a lot better than the dive from RY. And I'm gonna say for RY didn't seem to have the best communication. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, so those are my notes. If any of you are interested in what I thought, leave your feedback, please. I'm trying to get a lot more feedback, try to learn more. So yeah, enjoy. Bye.